The Florida Gators got another commit, and this time he's a Pirate. East Carolina running back London Montgomery. You are a Florida Gator.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free, representing the podcast and on YouTube. If you're in Europe, it's 2:07 a.m. If you're in the East Coast, it's 9:07 p.m. Is that what time it is? There's a college football playoff game going on right now, but none of us need to watch that right now. We can protect your peace. And the Florida Gators just landed another commitment, right? It's East Carolina running back London Montgomery, who is now going to join this backfield that has gotten a lot better in recent days, right? You got the leading running back from East Carolina. Like London Montgomery had 157 carries, 737 yards, 4.7 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns this year, did not fumble a single time. Good back joining the backfield. That's where you are, Scandinavia. I am in England. And so I'm in England, but we're going to have fun with like the pirate entrant. I thought it was fun, right? I thought it was fun to just, now I'm a pirate because you got an East Carolina Pirate. So Florida Gators landed London Montgomery. Putting in no T. Another back in this backfield. And honestly, it makes me really interested to know what this backfield is going to look like in 2026, which we'll talk about, right? Are we still maybe getting a big potential transfer you were hinting at? Maybe, yeah. Depends on what you consider big, right? Like I consider a big transfer as a starter that's a notable name, or a starter that we consider pretty good quality. How many running backs do we need? We'll talk about that as well. But first, I wanted to talk about just London Montgomery in general. 5'11", 197, going to have 2 years of eligibility remaining, and he has 275 carries. So he fits the mold of what John Summerall and this coaching staff have been looking for so far in the transfer portal. We'll talk about all that, Ben. So he fits the mold of what John Summerall and his Florida Gators coaching staff have been looking for in the transfer portal, where they keep taking guys that have multiple years of eligibility remaining, which in this case, London has 2 years of eligibility remaining. And then they have experience as well. And so that still fits the mold for London Montgomery or for this Florida Gators coaching staff of what they're looking for in transfer portal commits. London Montgomery fits that and has been productive at East Carolina in that time. Again, 4.7 yards per carry. He's had some games where he's been the lead back. Sometimes there's more part of a rotation. Yeah, but I want to watch Lane's leftovers beat the cocky Canes. I get it. I would love to see that as well, but might not be the case. John Summerall did get to see London Montgomery in person in 2025 as part of Tulane. Did not play him in 2024, but in 2025 did get to see him in person, and that was one of London Montgomery's worst games. Right? That was one of London Montgomery's worst games. But it makes this running back room really interesting. It does. I'm excited for the talent that's in the room. But you now have a running back room that features Jaden Ball as the bell cow, right? He's the lead back. He's going to be a guy that you see a lot of. So you got Jaden Ball as the guy. You have Cincinnati transfer Evan Pryor is coming in, and he's just speed all the way, right? You have London Montgomery has now committed to the Florida Gators. So you've now got another running back there. And then you have still Duke Clark is here. This is the second time that London Montgomery has transferred here. Or has transferred in general. First time he started at Penn State, then went to East Carolina, and is now going to come to Florida. And so I think it makes this running back room really interesting because you have talent here. Like this take is a guy that I don't know what he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be, running back 2, 3, 4. Like no matter what he is, I'm looking forward to seeing him because I do think he's a good back. But he's got a little bit of pass catching production, not a lot, but a little bit of pass catching production. He's had his games where it's like, all right, you're going to be someone that we're looking to throw to, and then he's had games where they don't even look his direction at all. So you've added a dual threat back here, and again, your running back room got better. Your running back room got more experience. Your running back room has multiple players with multiple years of eligibility. Like Jaden Baugh is going to be here for one more year. He has 2 years of eligibility, but he's going to be here for 1 year. Then in 2027, you can kind of look at everybody that you've brought in, right? Or everybody that you've retained. Duke Clark can be in that conversation. London Montgomery, who just committed, could be in that conversation. Evan Pryor, who committed the other day, Tuesday, could be in that conversation with the eligibility and all that playing and being able to contribute in 2027 as well. No, Evan Pryor, it will not be here in 2027. He's out. Evan Pryor is going to be in his last year of eligibility, but you're going to have London Montgomery, Duke Clark. Like, is that your 1-2 punch for 2027 and 2026? You're going to focus on Jaden Baugh and Evan Pryor. Is that kind of the approach that you take of the guys with multiple years of eligibility? Like, hey, you got to take a back seat because we have guys that are going to be there. We'll talk about it, Jacob. We'll talk about it in the second segment, or the second half of this live show. But I do want to focus on the running back room now because, again, you have a lot of options here. Like, we could talk about having it work as a rotation style of like Jaden Baugh is going to get most of the snaps, but other guys will rotate in. We could talk about using them situationally. Like Jaden Baugh can play in any situation. Evan Pryor could play against, slower defenses, and thoughts kind of, hey, if you can get around them, get by them, you're gone. London Montgomery could be a receiving option there more than anything else. You could have Duke Clark as just a guy that can also play multiple roles and just contribute wherever depth is needed. But I'm really interested to see how it goes. Do you put 2 of them on the field at the same time? Right? Like Buster Faulkner's coming with some kind of air raid background. And in the air raid, which we'll take a minute to talk about this. A lot of people, when they talk about the air raid, they talk about, 4 wide, like four wide receiver sets, 5 wide receiver sets. But one thing that not enough people talk about with the air raid is how often some air raid systems use 2 running backs at the same time. You had like Mike Leach did it all the time. Rest his soul. Mike Leach did it all the time, where he would have 2 running backs on the same side, or 2 running backs on the field at the same time, 1 on each side of the quarterback, and you could attack there. 1 can be in pass pro, 1 can be running. Like, you can have multiple things going on. You could do a lot with that. And like, does Florida do that? You got Jaden Baugh on one side of whoever the quarterback is, and you have Evan Pryor on the other. And it's like, okay, well, one guy can punch you in the mouth and just pummel you into the ground. The other one can outrun you. London Montgomery comes in, Evan Pryor's on the other side. It's like, all right, well, we have 2 guys that we want to get them the ball in space and let them work. You have that option as well. So I'm really interested to see what this running back room or running back rotation looks like, because we kind of know what the running back room looks like. I don't really think that we're going to be seeing them show a lot of interest in other running backs right now. Maybe they go for a 3rd one, but again, that would need to be someone who has multiple years of eligibility. Maybe isn't experienced. Maybe. But London Montgomery is someone that I'm glad he committed. Again, your running back room now has a 4 deep that you can feel pretty good about. 3 of them have multiple years of eligibility. Again, I talk about Jaden Baugh having multiple years of eligibility. He's not going to use them. He just has them. And it's just a talking point there to acknowledge that he does have multiple years of eligibility should he choose to come back, but he ain't gonna. He's an NFL back, and we all know it by now. So he's going to have one more year and then go to the league. But the Florida Gators running back room is talented. And we're kind of in this point now where Florida's taking, a commit here and there, and we go, all right, you might be done in that room, right? Yesterday you took Cam Dooley, and it's like, all right, well, you might be done at safety now. Today you take London Montgomery, and you might be done with running back now. Like I know that these guys that we're taking right now aren't starters, or aren't expected to be starters, but you are filling out your roster. Okay. And it's important for Florida to find quality there, because now we're also at the point where there's now 105 roster spots that Florida can use. Last year, the SEC was at the 85 scholarship limit, and walk-ons could be like grandfathered in. This year, it's 105. And so what usually people might go, hey, you should have, I don't know, let's just hypothetically, you can go, hey, I want to have 4 scholarship running backs on roster, and then you're going to have, 2 walk-ons. 6 was the number you were trying to get to, right? You just got to it in a different way. Now you're looking at, well, if we want 6 backs, we just got to get 6 backs. There's no more like, oh yeah, this guy is you could still have walk-ons, but now you have a little bit more wiggle room to get more proven talent there. The only way you go for a third back is if you get a true gadget pass catcher out of the backfield, i.e. Percy Harvin, and there's not one of those guys in the portal. Well, that's because there's not a Percy Harvin on the planet. So yeah, there's not a Percy Harvin in the portal. You don't. I know that I hold Percy in very high regard. He's like one of a kind to me. There's not a Percy around. So yes, there is not one in the portal, but you could also go the opposite route, right? You could say, hey, we've got a bunch of speed. We've got a bunch of proven pass catchers. Let's go get another hammer, so that if something happens to Jaden Ball, which I'll knock on wood, but let's go get another hammer so that if something happens to Jaden Ball, we have a tough yardage, gritty inside guy. You can go the opposite direction. You don't have to say, hey, it's a true gadget. You can get someone that you don't want to play, and they're just pure depth. And if they happen to play, they happen to play. We'll talk more about this team, this roster. There were a couple questions in the chat that I wanted to get to. We'll talk about that when we get back with this bonus episode of Locked On Gators. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming between subscriptions that you forgot about, I forgot about, we all forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month. It's easy to feel like you're losing control. And who has time to track every transaction or hunt down hidden fees? I've been very open about it. I use a spreadsheet to track my finances, and I still lose crap every month. I still have something I miss. That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day, every day, or your last listen as well, of the day, every day. We are available daily and free, Revison Podcast, and on YouTube. During the transportal time, we're available quite a few times, right? We're available quite a few times. I understand there are over 100 QBs in the portal. We may be able to say, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go to the top of the chat right now, and I acknowledge some of these, so I'm going to go down to basically where I had said, oh, we have these questions we're going to talk about. I will talk about those. What's up, Harrison? It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. Absolutely. We talked about that one. We talked about that one. Florida will win 9 for sure, Brandon. I'm not saying that. I'm not doing that. Look, I could be happy and hyped, and I could love the process of how they're building this roster. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I need to see some proof of concept out there on the field. That's how I am. You feel that way. Brandon putting in that OT. Yes. Yeah. Yep. How many running backs do we need? Hey, more. Good. Right. That's what he's doing. Good. We think we're getting Jamie French. So wide receiver Jamie French entered the transfer portal from Texas. A lot of people think that Florida might pursue him. I think Florida might pursue him. I don't know if I think Florida is going to get him. I would imagine he was a 5-star last year, true freshman that redshirted. I would imagine someone's going to give him money, and I don't think Florida's going to do that. And someone's going to give him early playing time or promised playing time, guaranteed playing time, whatever it is. I don't know if Florida's going to do that, but also so far in the portal, this staff has prioritized guys that have experience, whether that's, experience in multiple places, whether that's experience at a low level, high level, as a starter, as a backup, whatever, just snaps. And Jamie French redshirted his 1 year in college, and so he doesn't have that right now. So I don't know how much they're going to prioritize him. I'd imagine that they call him and talk to him and all that, but as far as getting him what he wants, I don't know. I really don't. And so I think it's tough for me to just be like, oh yeah, they're going to go for him, get him. I don't know, maybe, but he's also someone that we haven't seen do anything in college. There's not a lot of guys like that where I get really stoked about him. So if you get him, I'll be happy to see what can happen. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining, so there's plenty of time to develop and get better. But also, I'd like to see something from you. What else did we get? There were other questions that I said. I think we get Pierce Spurlin. Pierce Spurlin is the Georgia tight end that didn't play last year, had medical issues, hasn't played since 2023, is supposedly now medically cleared to play. And I would imagine that with this multi-day visit he's on, part of that is the medicals that they're looking at and seeing how they feel about him. I think basically if Florida wants him, they'll get him. And I think you could take him. And I think there's 2 tight ends you could take and then pretty much be done at tight end. Because again, that would give you 6 tight ends. And then you'd be done, right? That you'd have your guys and you can call it a day and move on to another position. They're knocking out position by position, it seems like right now. I'd love to see Jamie French come here, but he'd want too much money. Larry, he's a great wide receiver. Is he? What have we seen him do in college? Right? What have we seen him do in college? That's not a question. I think it is. What have we seen him do in college besides nothing? Right? Justin Williams and David Gross can fit that role. Maybe, right? Maybe you say, hey, instead of getting a running back, we're going to have these 2 gadget guys and they're just both going to move around. So maybe, but again, I just personally, and this isn't saying that true freshmen can't work or that true freshmen shouldn't work or won't work. It's not me saying that. It's just me saying my personal preference is to not rely on true freshmen. And I believe that that's John Summerall's preference as well, by the way that he's going after so many experienced guys in the portal. I think that's the way. But yeah, Tony said, I understand there are over 100 QBs in the portal. We may be able to snag a very good one. It's tough because what do you mean by very good one, right? You're not getting a star. You were never getting a star. And if you convinced yourself that Florida was going to be in the market for a star, that's on you. Plain and simple. George, I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you're a non-Florida fan asking who our quarterback's going to be, or if you're asking us who we think's going to win the quarterback competition. So to clarify that, we'll get you an answer. But just back to what Tony said about the 100 QBs in the portal, you can go get another quarterback, but you're not getting a top one. You were never getting a top one. And if you watch Locked On Gators, you should have known. That's all I'm saying. If you were here, you've known this whole time that we've been saying, hey, you're probably getting Aaron Philo. If you want to take 2 QBs, then one of them, you're not getting a star. If you want to take 2 QBs in the portal, that's just not happening. It's not. Again, portal age, you could hate it all you want. You can. It doesn't change that in the portal age, if you're a proven starter or if you're already, I don't even want to say proven, because you could just not be good, right? If you're an established starter, then you're not going to go to a place where there's a quarterback competition and maybe lose it. And then you're back up, and then you have to transfer again and compete again because now you're a backup, so that no one's going to give you the starting job. So a lot of these guys are not taking that risk of losing a quarterback competition. And yes, some people will say it's running from competition. I don't know if I'd call it that. I would call it risk assessment, right? That's it. That's all I'd call it. Risk assessment. What if I get hurt and miss a spring and then I lose the battle because of that? And then now I'm a backup. I really just think that it's risk assessment. And so I think a lot of guys aren't going to hit the portal like that and go to a place that's going to be an open quarterback competition. In the running back room, in the wide receiver room, tight end, most places you can compete and rotate. Quarterback doesn't really happen. So you were never getting that. We spoke about it here. Wasn't happening. And that is what it is. Yeah, it's going to be a quarterback battle between Georgia Tech transfer Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones. And I would imagine you see someone like Aiden Warner talked about it or talked about in the battle. But I think it'll wind up either Aaron Philo or Tramel Jones. I've said before, like Aaron Philo has more comfort in the offense and with the system, with the coaching staff as well. Tramel Jones, I think, is physically better right now. We'll see who wins it, right? We'll see who wins it. Is Lagway a Baylor? Yep. DJ Lagway committed to Baylor, which wasn't surprising. I feel like, when he hit the portal, that was the first spot we thought. He took a visit to Florida State. He took a few visits. Ended up committing to Baylor, where his dad went. He's from Willis, Texas. So he's going to be a Baylor Bear. Best of luck to him. I hope he gets whatever procedure he needs or anything he needs on the shoulder, and just gets healthy. That's it. Just gets healthy. Again, I wish the best. Like, I know that there's a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, you left here, F you," and all that stuff. And it's like, all right. I don't know. The way that I look at it is like a lot of these players are still, 19, 20 years old. I'm not going to go, yeah, I hope you fail at life. Because that's basically what you're doing, right? Like these people are setting out with a dream. I'm not going to go, yeah, I hope you fail at life. I hope you lose all your games, right? But I hope you find individual success, get an NFL career out of it. Go ahead. Yeah, Jamie French and Tramel Jones, maybe because they do have the ties. Like that's the thing, right? But we'll see. I think he's going to want more money than Florida's going to be willing to offer an unproven talent. Do you really think that Summerall's style is the portal all the way, or can he build through high school recruiting now that he's at a big time program with excellent recruiting in his backyard? I think he'll be able to use. I think high school will be something that he prioritizes more at Florida than he did at Tulane, right? But I still think every year you're probably going to see a good bit of guys hit the portal, maybe getting pushed out. Maybe it's guys that like London Montgomery and Evan Pryor, for example, right? Maybe the plan is we're taking both of them and they're both competing for running back 2 or running back 3, whatever. And if you win that battle, congratulations, you have a role. If you lose that battle, you're going to be pure depth, not play this year, maybe contribute on special teams, and then hit the portal if you want to hit the portal. Maybe that's what he's going to do, right? Like maybe he's bringing in a bunch of these guys to just purely compete for depth. Could be. Like, again, he's at Florida. He's got the logo. Logo holds weight, especially if you win games. So that, like, you've got all that going for you. So I think that high school recruiting will be obviously a lot easier at Florida than it was at Tulane or Troy. And so it'll probably be more of his game plan. But he's also got more resources to use in the portal. So he could also work there all he wants. Is there any other high-ranked transfer guys we're targeting or just filling depth? I couldn't even tell you if there's high-ranked transfer guys. I couldn't. Like, I couldn't tell you who the highest-ranked transfer guys are because that's information I don't care about. And it's not me going, like it's not even me doing the high school. Like, high school, I usually say rankings don't matter because they're politicized, right? It's like, oh, well, you didn't come to our camp, so we're going to tank your ranking. With the transfer portal, it's just I know you're not evaluating those guys. That's what it is with the transfer portal, is that I know you're not evaluating those guys. And so why do I care? There's no way that these recruiting services are evaluating the 5,000, the 6,000 guys that hit the portal. It's just not happening. They don't have the resources for that. You don't have the time for that. Like Florida can do it and colleges can do it because they have a ton of people that have the time, like a ton of people that can do it, and that's their only job. These recruiting services do not have staffs that big on the evaluation side. They're going, how notable is this name? What are the stats? And that's it. What do we have him ranked in high school too? And that's it. So I don't care about rankings at all. I don't even look at them. I haven't mentioned them at all. Nothing to me. I'm hoping for a proven nose tackle and offensive tackle. Not sure if they're targeting anyone currently. It is interesting that like offensive tackle, I'm not surprised we haven't heard much because they brought in Egan Boyer from Penn State. They're targeting Emeka Ugorji from Stanford. And those are guys that they're going to say, hey, you're going to compete for the spot, right? With Fletcher Westphal, maybe Caden Jones. Say you're going to compete for the starting spot. But nose tackle, we haven't even really heard names. And that's interesting to me. I think he's going to use portal as depth more than what Texas Tech way of building the entire roster out of the portal. Yeah, Texas Tech is doing it in an interesting way. And Texas Tech spends a lot of money. Like I want to know what percentage of Texas Tech's NIL goes to the defensive line. Because they just say, hey, who are the best defensive linemen? Give me them. And it's wild. Learned a lot about Summerall in that Tampa interview today. Good. Like John Summerall seems to be doing a lot of the national, regional, like not team specific interviews right now. And so it's good. Like he's making the rounds. People are getting to hear him. People are getting to know him. Did Harrison Moore ever commit or not? No, Harrison Moore has not committed yet. I still think he will at this point, but to this point in time, he has not committed to the Florida Gators, which is going to be interesting, or not even going to be interesting. It is interesting that it hasn't happened yet. Not sure if it's a paperwork thing from Georgia Tech still, because that's what we were told originally when it was like Aaron Philo took longer than we thought, and it was his paperwork stuff. So it seems to be the case. But Florida targeting some Georgia Tech offensive guys. Their offense was better than our offense, right? And Buster Faulkner should know about them. Texas Tech has more than that. I'll tell you that. Like if you include revenue sharing, Texas Tech's more than that. And so yeah, you can do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. But yeah, it's really interesting to see, when Harrison Moore. I still think Harrison Moore is going to commit. So I'm going to say when. Emeka Ugorji from Stanford, I still think is going to commit. You got a couple of receivers going on visits, and maybe you'll get some of them, some really fast players. Going to be interesting. But Florida Gators are getting better in the transfer portal. We have almost 200 people in here during the college football playoff, and that's wild. And I love you all, and thank you for that. Anything on Ben Hanks, Brendan Bed, a few guys, like they're still hammering things out. But from who I've spoken to, I still think it's going to go fine in Florida's favor. I just think it's, hashing things out. I'll be concerned about it when someone that I talk to sounds concerned about it. Until then, I'm just going to go, all right, like people still feel good about it. I'm going to still feel good about it. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. We'll be back again tonight if there's another commitment or if there's any other big news that happens. We'll go live after that. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI and swampsignal.substack.com, which I know there hasn't been Swamp Signal content yet this week. There's going to be quite a heavy influx of scouting reports to swampsignal.substack.com for all these portal guys, high school guys. We're going to be doing a bunch. We're going to have film for them. It's going to be a damn good time. And until then, I will see you all next time.